Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well and thank you for being here. This is the reading for the full moon in Virgo, which happens to be a lunar eclipse, and it's coming up on the 14th of March. This is our first eclipse of the year and the first Virgo eclipse that aligns with this particular nodal transit, so North Node Pisces, South Node Virgo. Now Virgo is a Mercury-ruled earth sign and it relates to the 6th house. In terms of what the 6th house is about, it's about daily habits and routines, and it's about our bodies and our health. So it's got a lot to do with how we feel and function on an everyday basis. So it really is quite an important house, and so this could be an interesting one. In terms of tarot, the Virgo card is actually the Hermit, and that's about someone who withdraws from their external reality, and it's to go within, and they do that to introspect, to reflect, to heal, to grow, to face shadows and make peace with those shadows. So this is the archetype of the spiritual seeker actually, and it's the one who follows their guidance to go within and find the truth. It's actually a really beautiful archetype. Getting back to this eclipse, this is a South Node eclipse, and that's typically about things that need to be released. So things that relate to your South Node are things that relate to the life that you've had in the past and what you've seen as your comfort zone. Now, in terms of the soul's journey, we're obviously meant to travel towards the North Node. That's the next adventure for your soul, the unexplored territory that it needs to experience. South Node eclipses can be difficult because obviously it's hard to let go of the things that we've been attached to, but it is necessary in order to move towards the North Node. It is necessary to release the old stuff. And we were always meant to go towards the North Node. I guess the other thing to point out is that Virgo is it's an earth sign, so it is related to our physical existence and the tangible realities of life. So the impact of a Virgo lunar eclipse would be something tangible, something to do with our physical reality. Overall, this is a very dynamic month in terms of the astrology, if you've been paying attention to that. And this is just one of several things that will be stirring things up. But just remember, no matter what is going on, it's important to keep holding the vision of things working out for the best. On a personal note, I've just recently had to do this. I live in Brisbane, Australia, and we spent the whole of last week expecting to be hit by a cyclone. Brisbane's not really a cyclone-prone city, so we haven't had a cyclone here for I think it was about 50 years. Most of us basically had no idea what to expect, so we just had to do our best to prepare. There was a lot of anxiety everywhere, and I was feeling it big time as well. I was actually starting to get heartburn, and I was like, oh, no. I was like, no, this is not how a spiritual person is going to handle something like this. So I actually started singing to diffuse the anxiety, and I even went out into the garden and stood on the grass in my bare feet. And honestly, it helped me so much. It got rid of the anxiety, and I was pretty much calm after that. So I'm happy to say that the cyclone miraculously ended up being downgraded, and it ended up making landfall over some islands that were on the way. Now, don't get me wrong, it's done plenty of damage and it's still causing flooding in the region, but it would have been so much worse if major cities had been hit by the cyclone at its original intensity. So overall, I'm super grateful. I was personally expecting property damage, power outages, problems with water supply, flooding, and so on. And that's what all the anxiety was about. But in the end, we were really fortunate. My parents had about a day without power, but that was as bad as things got for us. So yeah, I mean, I know it can be difficult to believe that your energetic vibration can have an impact on how things work out, but who knows? If you're in that kind of situation where it's the only thing that you can influence, I think it's definitely worth giving it a shot. Keeping your vibration high. In theory, it's high vibration that allows for good things to be drawn into us, right? So keep that in mind whenever things get hard or scary. I feel like a lot of the things happening in March could have big impacts, so maybe that was the reason I had to share that. Okay, well, the video will follow the usual format. I'll take a look at the astrological chart, and then I will look at the tarot spread for the full moon. I often find there is a connection between the two, but if you're not interested in the astrology at all, you can just skip through to the tarot section. The timestamps for each section are in the description box. As always, before we start, we'll do a quick love pause now. This is where we pause the video and we send some love out into the universe. So another option is to do a Ho'oponopono prayer, which is to say the 4 sentences: thank you, I love you, I'm sorry, and please forgive me. Anyway, I hope you'll join me in the love pause now. So pause your video now and I'll see you all on the next slide. Right, so this here is our eclipse chart. Again, I'm going to say it looks deceptively simple, but it's not. So there's a lot of action going on in the Pisces Aries section of the chart, which is shown on the left in this image. So if you have access to your birth chart, you might want to check out the houses that relate to Pisces and Aries. These are also the signs that relate to the end and beginning of the zodiac wheel. And I think I said this last time, this is about things, or these energies are about cycles ending and new cycles beginning. And all of these planetary energies wanting to gather together at this part of the chart just before Neptune moves into Aries, I do feel like that's significant. So Venus is still in Aries, but it's begun its retrograde, and that's going to take it back into Pisces. Mercury is the ruler of this eclipse because it rules Virgo, and it's conjunct Venus here at this eclipse. And it's also about to begin its retrograde, and I think it's sort of immediately after this eclipse it's going to go retrograde, and it's also then going to travel back into Aries. So these two planets are also crossing over that cusp point between Aries and Pisces, and they're going to do it 3 times really. Now these two planets are particularly important because when you look at this cluster over there, these are the 2 that are our personal planets. So they're spending a lot of time in this zone. I've got them highlighted on this chart in blue at the left of the chart. So with these being the personal planets, I feel like they're the guides in terms of what's going on over here, because they're the ones that we're going to feel most directly. So Mercury obviously relates to our mind, and Venus obviously is our divine feminine aspect. So we're going to have to take our cues from those things, I guess, because what the outer planets do often isn't too clear to us because they're having a global impact, I guess. So how it's going to relate to us personally is going to come in, I think, through our intuition, our sensitivity, our mind. So it's, these 2 retrogrades I feel are particularly important. Over in getting back to, the actual lunar axis, I've highlighted that in purple. On the Pisces side, the Sun is conjunct Saturn, and over on the Virgo side, the moon is conjunct the south node. Now the sun's also conjunct the north node, but I sort of highlighted that in that pinky color because the north node itself is quite close to Neptune, so I've highlighted that as a separate conjunction. But really all of those planets are right there in the last 10 degrees of Pisces, so they're all really very close to each other. The sun in Pisces is actually kind of highlighting, I should say it's shining a light on this Pisces area. It's conjunct Saturn in Pisces, which is to do with our spiritual principles. And then as it moves through Pisces, it's going to conjunct the North Node, it's going to conjunct Neptune. So it's shining a light through this whole section of Pisces over the next couple of weeks, I would say. And it's actually moving into Aries a week after this eclipse, which marks the start of the astrological new year. So there we go with another beginning. And obviously when the sun moves into Aries, that's the March equinox as well. 10 days after that, Neptune moves into Aries. So in some ways, the sun's going on ahead and it's illuminating the way for Neptune to follow. And so as it's illuminating these degree points, we kind of might get a sense of what Neptune's going to be moving through as well and working on. And I just realized in all of that, I forgot about the Aries solar eclipse, which is actually slotting in before Neptune enters Aries. I think it's the day before. So the day before Neptune moves into Aries, the sun and the moon are going to be conjunct at that eclipse. So more energetic activation, but also more illumination just before Neptune moves into Aries. And I just checked. I think that Aries solar eclipse is going to be at 9 degrees of Aries. And when you look at this chart, Mercury is right there at 9 degrees of Aries, and it's just before it goes retrograde, so it's touched that point. And I think Venus got to 10 degrees of Aries, so it's already traveled that point as well a couple of times. So our personal planets are in touch with what these eclipses will involve. You know, they might already have a sense of what it might be about. But as I've been saying all that, you know, it's so clear there is so much going on in this very confined section of the chart. It's the last decan of Pisces and the first decan of Aries. So we're talking about the last 10 degrees of Pisces, the first 10 degrees of Aries. And it's like little fireworks going off because there's so much being activated in that little zone. So for some of you, this might all be happening in one house of your birth chart, but for some of us, it's going to be two. So I have a lot of personal planets in Aries, so I'm expecting that some of these activations are going to impact me. I don't have a lot in Pisces, but for me, it's two houses affected. So we'll see what's going on. We've already said the South Node is conjunct the eclipse, so there will be things that have to be released. So that's really two sections, I think. So there's endings and beginnings in the Pisces areas of your chart. There's endings in the Pisces areas of your chart. There's endings and beginnings over. Oh, I'm getting all mixed up. Sorry, there's cycles ending and beginning in the Pisces Aries area of your chart, but then also endings and releases in the Virgo areas of your chart. So everything about this is screaming that things are going to change. There are a couple of planetary aspects to the eclipse as well. They're both highlighted at the bottom of the chart. In red, we have Uranus in Taurus. It's trining the moon and South Node in Virgo, and it's sextiling the cluster of activity in Pisces. Unfortunately, this is not a mellow energy either. This is another dynamic energy that's entering the mix because Uranus is about things shifting suddenly, and it's an earth sign as well. It's in an earth sign as well. So maybe we can add some earthquakes and lightning bolts to the mix along with the fireworks that are going on in the Pisces Aries section. Uranus is associated with cosmic consciousness, so really it's bigger than us. We'll get these lightning fast downloads, I think, that activate us as well. So yeah, that's playing in here as well. Then the other planet that's involved is also not a quiet planet. It's Mars, which is our most dynamic personal planet. It's in Cancer. It's highlighted in green here on this chart. It's trining the Sun and Saturn in Pisces, and it's sextiling the Moon in Virgo. So Mars is still in Cancer, so it's a little bit debilitated, but it's direct now, so it's capable of doing things. So we'll see what's going to happen, I guess. Overall, I'm going to say this is a dynamic and unstable period of time for us. I am going to look at it through my glass half full lens, though. I don't believe in random coincidences. I feel like all of these astrological things coming together and happening at this point in time, that is significant. I don't think it's random. I feel like it's the universe saying, well, it's time for things to change. Time's up if you haven't made the changes. So really, whether we're on board with what's coming or not is going to be relevant. I don't think you can really fight the will of the universe at this point. As I said, time's up. Things are going to change. As I said in the introduction, the only thing we can do when we aren't in control of what's happening is to manage our own energy. So keep hoping that things will work out for the best. Keep visualizing good outcomes. Stay grounded. Do your best to keep your energetic vibration as high as it can be. Go for walks, play music, keep doing your gratitude exercises, and keep, just, keep your spiritual practices going, I think. And just keep whatever you're imagining for the future, imagine a future where you're happy and you're at peace. And maybe that's all we can do at a time like this. Wow. That's all I'm getting from this chart. I will look at the tarot spread. I suspect it's going to be tough as well, just based on the energies coming through astrologically. Here we are with the spread for this lunar eclipse. If you're interested in the decks that I've used, they're listed in the description box. I was feeling into Virgo as I was choosing my decks and the Hermit energy, so I did choose some decks that were a little bit more themed that way. And it was so interesting that the very first card I got was titled Solitude. But anyway, this spread looks like a bit of a mixed bag. There are some challenging energies, some really good ones as well. Okay, so I'll start at the bottom of the deck like I usually do. We actually got 2 major arcana cards showing up there. The card at the bottom of the deck was actually the Chariot card. So this is Cancerian energy, and it's about being single-minded about what you're trying to achieve. It's very goal-oriented. It's very fast-moving and directed action, if you know what I mean. So this is someone who knows where they're going and they're determined to get there. So that's actually a very positive energy to have it underlying this reading. The card directly under the Chariot at the bottom of the deck was the Sun, and I always take major arcana cards, so I did take that out as well. And here I'm seeing it as clarifying the Chariot card. So the Sun is a Leo card. It's also a very positive card. In fact, it's the most positive card in the tarot deck, really. The Sun card is about happiness and joy. So putting these two cards together, it means that you know with 100% certainty that the life that you want is one where you'll be truly happy, and that's the outcome that you're focused on achieving. And this could be going back quite a while, actually. This has been your goal that you've been working towards. All right, so the bottom of the deck energies are certainly good, because I don't think you should shift focus from that. If that's been your goal that you've been working towards, then you should absolutely keep going towards what makes you happy, because that's alignment, and that's a really important thing in terms of what we manifest in our lives. Like, the more aligned we are with what works for us, what makes us happy, what fulfills us, and the more likely we are to actually accomplish that. Now, in the astrology, we were talking about endings and beginnings. So here at this eclipse, obviously there are going to be endings and beginnings. And I feel like the things that are going to end are just the things that aren't working for you anymore, the things that aren't aligned. And the things that you're going to want to keep moving towards are things that fit with this vision of happiness that you have, this Chariot Sun energy that you've got in mind. So yeah, that's big. Now I'm going to move to the card in the past position, and that's a good card as well. It's the Nine of Pentacles, which is actually a good card. So this is a card that's about financial and material stability and success. It's usually someone who's financially independent. But this card is in the past position as well. So that says that in the lead up to now, you've actually been doing okay. Life's actually been pretty good to you in terms of your material circumstances. This is saying to me that you're not poor, you're not struggling, you're actually okay. But then we get to the present energy, and this is where I think we're hitting this eclipse energies, because we've got the Ten of Swords in the present position. So that's not such a kind card. It's about things ending in a fairly brutal way. I do tend to see the sword suit as relating to the mind, though. So this is going to be like some mindset or belief system is just going to get killed off here. And I'm feeling like it might be that you had a certain idea about something, and then the truth or the reality of that situation is going to show up and smack you across the face. It's like a wake up and smell the coffee kind of experience. Trying to think of examples, but you know those stories like where someone thinks they're happily married and then one day their illusion is shattered, like their spouse just takes off, like they leave a note and take off, or they disappear, or they come out as gay, or they or they've been doing something criminal and they, or like a guy finding out that his child isn't actually his child. Like, I don't know, these are marriage related examples, but this is that thing where you thought something was really stable, really secure, really fine, and then something happens that absolutely floors you because it's suddenly very clear that you had no idea what was really going on. So those are the kind of examples I'm getting, but obviously it doesn't have to relate to marriage. It could be something in your family. It could be something to do with your friends, your job, your finances, anything. And as I was saying, finances, I was pulled back to that Nine of Pentacles card because that is really about material security. So this could be like you've invested in something and you find out it was a total scam all along and your money's gone. Like I'm thinking of that, those, what are they called? Forgetting the name. Ponzi schemes. Yeah. So, maybe even something like that. So whatever this is, it could be quite brutal, guys. So I'm really sorry if this Virgo lunar eclipse is super traumatic. All of those scenarios were actually quite unpleasant when you think about it because, it's total instant disillusionment. It's like, oh, like everything I believed or felt secure in is suddenly gone. It's awful. So I'm sorry to bring that through, but I guess that is how the universe would do it if time was up, like if you haven't made the changes that you should have made, or if you've been turning a blind eye to things that you shouldn't have been turning a blind eye to, then I guess ultimately the universe has to kind of, I mean, we don't have the Tower card, but ultimately it's going to have to be that kind of experience where that kind of wake up and smell the coffee, it's too late for you to keep believing in something that isn't true. So I guess that's what it is. It's intense, but it is what it is. And as we said earlier, it's South Node, so it's your comfort zone. It's something you took for granted, you felt safe in, and it's just going to go. So it's Pisces Aries area of your chart being worked on as well as the Virgo areas. So see where they are. Like, depending on the house, you might get a clue about where this is going to be. But overall, I'm going back to the astrology. I feel like the universe really just wants you to get onto a new path, a better path, a more aligned path. And if the old path has to blow up in order to make that happen, then that's what's going to happen because the universe is calling time, basically. Wow, that's heavy. But the card in the future position is great. It's the Strength card. So that's Leo energy again. And with the Sun and the Strength both here, it's fixed fire energy. So we're talking about something very stable. This card is about courage and inner strength and grace under fire. So I am glad to see it here because it tells me that whatever is going to go wrong, it's not going to break you. You've got a strong heart and you'll get through this. Okay, so I feel like we've flown through all those cards. It's like that Chariot energy. It's like, boom, we're going to cover this quickly. Now, the oracle cards do all seem related to whatever this bad experience is in the present. There's even one here that says when all seems ended, and there's a full moon on that card. So very, very fitting. And I'm thinking back to one of the readings I did before. I think it was another lunar reading, but we got the song Closing Time. Do you guys remember that one? And the line was every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. So that's coming through again. That's an important message here. So even when all seems ended, as this card says, remember that some other chapter of your life is beginning right here in this bleak place that you're in. This is the beginning of the next chapter. So don't lose hope. Even if all seems ended, that is not the case at all. And the full moon that we're seeing in this card, we often see the full moon as a completion energy, but it's actually just another phase in the lunar cycle. So that's another thing saying like nothing's ending here. Okay, so I mean something's ending, but your life isn't ending. Your life is there's going to be a lot more to your life than just whatever ends here. It's also a number 28 card, reduces to number 1, which is the start of a new cycle. So definitely that card might look bleak, but it's telling you that there's a new beginning coming. The Foggy Bog card is a number 13 card. That's the death card in tarot. But again, the death card is the transformation card. It's the rebirth card. It's Scorpio energy. It's Phoenix energy. So if this experience kills off the old you, there's a new you that's being born. And that fits with Neptune ending its cycle in Pisces and starting a whole new cycle in Aries. The Foggy Bog experience, though, means that you won't see where it's going. It's all going to be shrouded in fog and mystery. The key word on this card is patience. So while you're stuck in the Foggy Bog experience, you're going to have to be patient, and you're going to have faith that the universe has a plan. Spirit is definitely not going to abandon you in Bleaksville and forget all about you. I think you just need to see this as a void experience. So this void might feel like a lot of nothingness, but really the void is also a place of infinite possibility. From here, anything might happen. So again, I'm going to repeat that thing about staying grounded and hoping for the best outcome, keeping your vibration as high as you can manage to get it. And the Foggy Bog, well, I can't say how long you're going to be there. So that's where the strength comes into it as well. Stay strong in your faith and keep doing the things that a spiritual person does. All of those spiritual practices. Don't stop. Keep talking to God. Keep finding things, however small, that you can be grateful for. Keep doing your emotional healing work. I'm thinking of the Star card in tarot now. So yes, get into that Star card energy where you're just processing what has happened, but you're still hopeful that the future will turn out great. So it's interesting to get Death card and Star card energies from this Foggy Bog card. Death relates to Scorpio and the Star relates to Aquarius. And when you think about it, those are both fixed energies, so fixed water and fixed air energies. And we already have fixed fire with Leo showing up in this spread. So these are all stable energies that can support you. Very interesting to see that we don't have fixed earth here at all. So that's just confirmation that it's the earthly experience that isn't going to be stable right now. And that's because our physical realities are changing here. So with water, fire, and air elements all showing up in their fixed modality, this is where we're going to find our stability, mental stability, emotional stability, courage, and faith. These are the strengths that we possess, and they're going to get us through this void period. So don't forget you have these attributes within you. With Chariot and Sun at the bottom of the deck, I feel like that's a message to just stay in alignment, even if you are stuck in the foggy bog. You might have no idea what's coming, but stay true to that long-term vision that you had. Stay aligned. Choose people and experiences that fit with your happy vision of the future. Choose what makes you feel safe, peaceful, and happy. Don't choose anything negative or heavy or scary. No matter how desperate you are, those are not things that you want. So they're not going to align with the future you want. So don't choose them. So I'm thinking of that example of, the single mum who, is struggling and then she shacks up with some horror person. Don't do that. The person with anger issues or drug issues, no matter how desperate you are, that person's not going to help ultimately. So don't settle for that. It's not going to work long term. So just keep staying in alignment no matter how desperate things get. Just stay true to alignment. So even if it's a struggle for a while, you just keep doing your best and you keep waiting for things to change. And nothing stays the same forever. Everything, just have that mindset of this too shall pass. And even if you are that struggling single mum, at some point your luck's going to change. There's going to be a better job, or you might have some family come forward to help you out. So just keep asking the universe for help when you need it, and trust that you will get that help when you need it. Right, so the last oracle card is that solitude one that I pulled first, and it's interesting to look at these keywords because they are all positive keywords. The words here are rest, ponder, quiet, and sanctuary. There's a really strong Virgo hermit feel from this card. Excuse me. And it's a reminder that, keep bringing up air. I think that's supposed to be a channeling thing, isn't it? But as I said, strong Virgo feel from that. And that's a reminder that the void can also be helpful. It gives us space. It's a peaceful place where we can rest and heal and reflect and transform and experience real spiritual growth. So we're getting those death and star card energies here again, and hermit, as I said, but I'm also now getting hanged man energy, because the hanged man is Neptune energy, and it's that feeling of being stuck somewhere, and it's beyond your, it's something that you didn't choose, it's beyond your control. So that foggy bog experience, it's going to feel like that as well. And I think the message from the hanged man energy is that you need to kind of surrender to what is, and accept things as they are before you can start seeing things differently, because that's the story of the hanged man. Like, it's when he surrenders and accepts that his perspective shifts and he starts to become enlightened, he starts to evolve. So that is a Neptune card. As I said, Neptune's going to be reborn in Aries. So do take that hanged man stuff on board as well. Now, this solitude card is a number 11 card. That is the strength card in some decks, and it's the justice card in some decks as well. I feel like strength's already covered in this spread. It's come through as a card itself. But justice is coming through there as well. Justice is Libra energy. And I feel like it's a reminder that fairness is a universal principle. Okay, so if you've been a good person, the universe isn't going to screw you over. So shit might happen. I think shit's going to happen, but there will still be justice ultimately. And that means that if you didn't deserve what's happening to you now, or what's going to happen to you now, the universe will bring you what you actually deserve. So don't lose faith there. And really, that's another reason for not settling for something crappy that comes along because you're desperate. Because I think the universe is going to offer you some good things, but you have to be patient and wait for those things to come through. And those are the things that you should accept into your life, and you'll recognize those things because they will align with that vision that you have for your future, with that, the way that you want your life to go. So you want the sun card. Don't forget that. You want the sun card. You want to feel the sun shining in your life. That's your goal. That's your dream. Don't lose focus. Don't lose heart. Don't lose hope. And don't settle for less than, for something that's never going to bring you to that future. So don't settle for that. Stay in your chariot energy, eyes on the prize. So no matter how tough things get, eyes on the prize. This present experience might be shit, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to have happiness in the future. So just keep walking towards it and don't step off the aligned path. If you stay on the aligned path, you're going to get there, because the aligned path doesn't lead anywhere else. It goes to the place that you're trying to get to. So don't forget that. Stay aligned. Wow, that was an intense astrology and tarot section. I have to admit, this is an intense video, but I'm ending it here. I feel like almost like this is the final challenge, and so maybe it is going to be the toughest one, guys. Maybe it's the one that's going to test you on everything you've learned along the way. When I was doing that tarot reading, there were so many major arcana energies that came through, and they were very evolved energies that came through. And I feel like these are things you've done before. You've navigated those sorts of energies. You've had those kind of experiences at different points in your journey. So you've been in those energies before. They're not foreign to you. But what I feel like I'm getting from that tarot spread is maybe you need to pull it all together for this next bit. Okay, so you're basically pulling together all of the wisdom and all of the experience that you gained from those other times, and you're going to have to pull it all together so you can deal with this. You have made it to this point, so please don't give up now, because I suspect that the prize is on the other side of this, and that's really how I'm feeling it. Stay strong, stay focused, stay spiritual, stay aligned, all of those things. We can do this. You know, we're spiritual warriors, don't forget. Okay, that's it. If you're still here, thank you for taking the time to watch the video. If you enjoyed it, I mean, it's a hard one to enjoy, but if you appreciated it, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you like my work. I would love to hear your thoughts as well, so please leave a comment if you feel like you would like to. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for your support. As I said earlier, decks will be listed in the description box. If it's a deck that's available on Amazon, I've put some affiliate links in there so you can use those to check them out. If you do click on those links and end up buying the deck, I might qualify for a small commission from Amazon, which comes at no extra cost to you. The link should take you to the Amazon site that you would normally use. So your shopping experience shouldn't be different to any of your previous shopping experiences on Amazon. If you are interested in using the affiliate links, just check the extra information out that's in the description box. All of my older videos have also been updated to have the deck details in the description box. Thanks for staying to the end, and I hope that I'll see you all again in another video. Whatever happens, stay strong. I believe in you. So we'll get through this together. I'll see you in another video. Okay, bye.